Guys, so I've done a short lesson on the lungs and breathing. It's aimed at year 6, so Key Stage 2 science. So we're going to look at where are the lungs. We're going to look at what protects them, what do the lungs do, and how do they do it. On your pieces of paper, do you want to jot down and have a think about all the answers if you know the answers to them? If you don't, that's absolutely fine. Have a little think, and we're going to talk through each of those things. So, just to clarify one little bit at the beginning, I take one and then a word beginning with B-R-E-A, and then you need to finish off that word, of air, and then a different sentence is another word beginning B-R-E-A, to stay alive. You have to just think what endings are they, because they're slightly different. It's just to get that clear in your mind. So I take one and a word B-R-E-A something, and I B-R-E-A something slightly differently, to stay alive. Which are those two words? You can write them on your piece of paper. So we're going to talk about where the lungs are. So the lungs sit in the thoracic cavity, and you see the picture up the top here. That is showing a diagram of a man cut in half. And you'll see that in the top it's labelled as the thoracic cavity, and that is where your lungs sit. And your abdominal cavity, which is the soft bit below your ribs you can feel on yourself, is your abdominal cavity, and that's where all your bowels sit. But your lungs sit in the chest cavity or thoracic cavity, which is surrounded by your ribs, and you can have a feel of your ribs there. So in a bit more detail, if you imagine you take a big deep breath in, where does that air go? It goes through your mouth, down a pipe called the trachea, which is spelt that. It's a funny word, isn't it? T-R-A-C-H-E-A, trachea. It goes down that pipe, and then it splits into two different pipes. One's called the right main bronchus, and that's the one coming down here. And this one over here is called the left main bronchus. And the left main bronchus goes into the left lung, and the right main bronchus goes into the right lung, which is here. So you've got two lungs, and then just below the lungs here is the thing called the diaphragm, and that's what splits your thoracic cavity here from your abdominal cavity here. So that line going across here is your diaphragm, and that's very important for breathing and keeping your lungs away from all your guts. So if we zoom in even further, so this is the right lung here, so we've breathed air, it's gone in our mouth, it's split into one of these two pipes, and then it's gone into all these little chambers, and in here, if we zoom right in on this bit, and that area of the lung is enlarged here, it looks like this. So it looks like a tiny little tree of little branches, and on the end of each of these, there's a little bag called an more than one is called an alveoli. One of them is one alveolus, two or more alveoli, and they are the special pockets that are in your lungs that allow oxygen to be transferred to the blood.